day everyone, this is Marielle B. Alfon again, and for today's video, we will be giving a critique to one of a research article that can be accessed in the Journal of Research in Science Teaching, and the title of our article is Equity in College Physics Student Learning, a Critical Quantitative Intersectionality Investigation. So, the goal of this project or the goal of this study is to use critical quantitative intersectionality to look at how race or racism and gender or sexism interact in large-scale disparities in physics student learning. So now I will be presenting to you the following research questions that were presented in the study. So this research question is used to investigate intersectionality in student physics preparation and learning. So the first question is, to what intent does the intersection of race or racism and gender or sexism predict physics student preparation? Second question is, to what extent does the intersection of race or racism and gender or sexism predict physics student learning? Now, the next two questions investigated equality of learning. So, for the third question is, what difference in student learning across the intersection of race or racism and gender or sexism in physics courses that are lecture-based, if any? And the fourth question is, to what extent are differences in student learning across the intersection of race and racism and gender or sexism smaller in physics courses that use collaborative learning? Now, the fifth research question investigated equity of individuality when transforming from lecture-based to collaborative physics courses. Now, the last question is, to what extent do collaborative learning physics courses increase learning across the intersection of race or racism and gender or sexism compared to those are lecture-based? Now, those were the research questions that are presented in the study. Now we will move on to the literature review, the topics of the literature review. So the topics that were discussed in the literature review were, first is gender or sexism in physics. Second is race or racism in physics. And lastly, operationalizing equity in physics. Now, the investigation was quantitatively carried out, of course, from the title itself. And I've seen from the study that stratified sampling was utilized since they divided the population according to the important criteria. The information was gathered from two research-based tests that have undergone two large validation studies. Now, through the administration, through the scoring and analysis of pre-test and post-test research-based assessments, a large-scale multi-institution data collection platform was used to evaluate the validity and reliability of the data. In the study, regression analysis is used as well. Now, to conclude, the conclusion of the study states that, according to the study, students from underrepresented groups are often less equipped to succeed in physics classes than their white male counterparts. The study claims that the variations in physics preparation are not due to any weaknesses in the students themselves, but rather to a lifetime of experiences in science and math that have disproportionately benefited white male pupils. So, it may have been challenging to demonstrate statistically meaningful correlations between learning and race due to the low presence of students from underrepresented racial groups in college physics courses.